This is actually gonna be a fun one. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't planning to do Sunday night football, but take a look at the matchup. I actually want to get a first-hand view of JJ McCarthy and Michael Penix. I want to see their playing styles. Like I want to actually be able to discuss them because again, this is year two for Michael Penix, and then this is also what year two for JJ McCarthy because he got hurt. I'm interested in seeing what these two young quarterbacks are going to do. I have obviously, as a Ravens fan, I'm not really caring about the results, but I want to see a good game and I want to see how these young quarterbacks are going to deal with the pressure they see today. JJ McCarthy did not play well in the first half of the game against Chicago. In the second half, he turned it on and he showcased the talents that the Vikings want to see because they believe in this young man. And he has all the tools in the world to succeed. And he showcased those tools in the second half of that game to get them the win. I liked what I saw from him. In Michael Penix's case, I saw some good things from him in the Falcons offense, but they did ultimately fall short against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in week one. I just want to see a few of these things here. So that's exactly why. Falcons fan here, what's up, bro? What's going on, man? Appreciate you tuning in. I want to take a look at both these teams' offenses and see how these young quarterbacks are going to fare in these matchups. Because the Vikings have a good defense. The Falcons, they got talent. I'm interested overall in seeing how this game is going to go. I believe the Vikings are going to win this game tonight. I trust the Vikings a little bit more defensively than I do with the Falcons. But again, the Falcons are a talented football team that's trying to put it together. You got two young teams, two young quarterbacks, trying to make a name for themselves here. Let's see how they're going to do on prime time. This is a very, very interesting matchup. You don't normally see something like this. So you've got two very young quarterbacks looking to make a play. It seems like the Atlanta Falcons will be getting the ball first. So we'll get to see Michael Penix and the Falcons offense to kick off Sunday Night Football. Here we go as my lights start to act up. Good Lord. Falcons get the ball first as I'm looking to, just do this for now, as I'm looking to fix this. There we go. So here we go. Falcons offense on this opening drive here. So Michael Penix and the Falcons offense getting ready to do something here on this opening drive. It's a very interesting one because I don't watch too many of the Falcons. And I mean, I watched a lot of the Vikings last year. Sam Darnold was interesting enough to do so. But the Falcons, I didn't really watch too much of the Falcons. So I'm interested in seeing how things are going to look with Bijan, how things are going to look with Kyle Pitts, and how things are going to look under Michael Penix as a quarterback. First and 10, they're going to hand it right to Bijan Robinson. And Bijan breaks through. Bijan to the 40. Oh, he's breaking through. 50, 40. Oh, beautiful run. Bijan starting off the game with a big run here. First down Falcons going into Vikings territory. That is one way. That is one way to start the season. That's one way to start the game off, excuse me. That's one way to start the game off. Strong run here by Bijan Robinson. First and 10 here for the Falcons. You're going to hand it right back to Bijan, and Bijan breaks it again. Bijan to the 25-yard line. Bijan is running really, really well early on. This run game is getting whatever they want against this Vikings team. Dumb. All right, here we go. First and 10 once again. The Vikings defense, they got to respond because the Falcons are moving down the field with ease. Penix hands it back to Bijan. Bijan cuts it back. Bijan. 3 strong runs by Bijan Robinson. He's looking good right now, man. Bijan is moving down the field with effectiveness. Wow. Second down and 5 here. May look to hand it again. They're going to hand it once again, and there's Bijan, but he's going to get dropped. The defense finally makes a stop. Third down coming up here for the Falcons. So third down play here. Can the Falcons pick up the first down and move the chains, or will the Vikings defense make a stop and force a field goal? Third down coming up here for the Falcons. They haven't thrown a single pass yet. It's been nothing but runs to start this game off here for the Atlanta Falcons. 3rd and 4. Penix is going to be in the shotgun here. He's going to call for the snap, and they're not going to get it off in time. Did they call a timeout? Did they get the timeout off? It is loud in this stadium. Did they get the timeout off? All right, is it time to panic for Kansas City? It's week 2, dude. No. It's week 2. No, I don't think a team that's, in contention for a dynasty would be panicking here. No, it's not time to panic. It's week 2. There's times to address things, and you probably should look to go add an offensive weapon. But no. How hype you and Engraving going to be when we blow out the Chiefs 41-13? I don't know how Engraving's going to be. I'm not really going to be that hyped. I'm pretty sure I expressed myself after week 1. You have to prove it in January. The Ravens, I'm going to be here and enjoy the game like a fan, but I'm not about to just be overly hyped because they beat their Chiefs in September. Do it in January. 3rd down and 4 here. Empty backfield. Penix takes a snap. He's looking. There's a flag on the play, and it's going to be a false start. You had to delay a game, which you nearly had to delay a game. You call a timeout just to get a false start. Falcons already making mistakes on the opening drive. The noise by the fans the noise right now is just getting to the Falcons right now. They are not insane. But yeah, I'm not going to be immensely hyped. I'll be happy. It'll be a good week. I'll be satisfied with a win, but I can't get overly hyped about this team winning in the regular season anymore. It's just get it done. And I feel a lot of the fan base feels the same way. Until this team wins the championship, it's hard to get hyped about the regular season because we just feel like you're going to make the same mistakes in January. So until they get it done in January, it's going to be tough. But we're still going to have fun. We're still going to enjoy the games. We're still going to cheer for and support this team. 3rd and 9, that's a low snap. Penix, he's finding time. He's looking. He's got a man. It is caught, but he is short. You got to go for this here, maybe. To set the tone. You're on the road in Minnesota. He got it to Pitts, but they could not convert there. Looks like they're going to kick a field goal here. Oh, no, they're keeping the offense on. They are keeping the offense on. Kyle Pitts got his first completion of the night, but he was a yard short. With the way Bijan Robinson is running, it wouldn't be a bad idea if you choose to run it, but the clock is ticking down. They're breaking out of the huddle late. There's no way they're snapping this. They're not snapping this. They're not snapping this. They just wanted to kick the field goal. They weren't going to snap this. There's no way you're telling me they were looking to snap this. There's no way you're telling me that, and they're letting the clock wind down like that. You got to look at the play clock. There's no way you're telling me this. There's no way you're telling me that are you telling me they found a way to screw this up? Good Lord. They were actually trying to go for this on 4th and 1. They screwed this up. They really screwed this up. There's no way the Chiefs lose to the Giants next Sunday on primetime. I don't know if you want to make those assumptions, but sure. I mean, you could say there's no way and he missed the field goal. Oh, he got it. That kick was leaning so much. It must have just barely gone in before, because that kick was leaning so much. Falcons got the field goal. That kick was leaning. It was close to being out, but he got it. 3-0 game here. Falcons score a field goal on their opening drive. Here comes the Vikings and J.J. McCarthy. Yeah, you can make the assumptions that the Chiefs aren't going to lose until they lose. I don't think people expected them to lose to the Chargers, and then they did. I'm pretty sure people expected them to lose to the Eagles, but at least thought they would have a response and potentially win the game, especially because they were at home. So I think more people were picking the Chiefs than the Eagles, but they just lost. You can make the assumption there's no way they lose to the Giants, and then they lose to the Giants. Not saying it's going to happen, but again, we can't just assume there's no way they're going to lose. No, it's any given Sunday, and anybody can suffer a loss, even Kansas City. Which team looks worse, Miami or Chicago? Miami. Miami looks worse. Chicago got smoked by the Lions because the Lions were pissed off about how poorly they played week 1 against the Packers, and now the Packers are feeling themselves and talking about them being a Super Bowl team. So because of that, they're like, we got to smoke the Bears just to make sure we get over this level of pain. Sean Payton is red hot at his special teams unit. Yeah, they kind of messed up down the stretch. It is what it is. Was this Lamar's best game versus the Browns ever? I'm trying to think. 2019. First game we lost 40-20, got blown out. Second game we played well. He had 3 touchdowns in that game. That was 2019. On 2018, again, actually that was his third game. 2018, we played to win the division. He played well in that game, but that wasn't his best game. 2020, week 1, we blew him out 38-6. He had 3 touchdown passes there. Second game was against Cleveland on Monday Night Football. That was cool. 2021, we played them on Sunday Night Football. We played like trash. The second time we played him, Lamar got hurt, so can't say nothing about that. 2022, we didn't really play well. I mean, statistically, this could be Lamar's best game, but a lot of people like what we did in 2020 because we beat them 38-6. So the 38-6 game may be what people say is his best performance, depending on the moment and situation and the intensity of the game. People will say his performance on Monday Night Football against the Browns in 2020 was another one. So 2020, people believe, has the best performances Lamar's had against them. But statistically, I guess today's the best because he threw 4 touchdowns. No, wait, no. Okay. Maybe 2023 when we went to Cleveland, he had 4 touchdowns in that game. It was 2 passing, 2 rushing. He played well in that one. So I'm guessing this game here, either this game today, the game in Cleveland in 2023, or either the 2 games Lamar played against them in 2020. But, it's what it is. I'm not even sure if the Ravens coached by John Harbaugh can beat either Buffalo or Kansas City to come out the AFC, especially going to their house. Mental toughness is questionable for Harbaugh. Yeah, I don't think anybody trusts this team to really go into Kansas City or Buffalo in January and win the game, specifically because we don't believe they can hold on to a lead or they have the toughness to do it. I mean, if they prove us wrong for once, we'd actually be happy, but can't really trust that. So, yeah, it is what it is. First down and 10 here for the Vikings. McCarthy takes the pass, throws it quickly. And it is a catch. Got it to Naylor for about 3 yards here. Got that out as quickly as possible. So, yeah, I'm not really confident that they could do that. Again, they have all the talent in the world to do that, but I don't have confidence that they're going to do that. How do you get that penalty? Man, I don't know, man. Second down and 8 for the Vikings here. McCarthy under center. He's going to motion Jefferson. They're going to toss this to Jones. And that Falcons defense is right there to make the stop. Yeah, nobody trusts Ravens going into Kansas City week 4. I don't think anyone trusts them. I don't think they've earned anyone's trust to believe they're going to do it. They have to earn people's trust. Is Mike McDonald? Is Mike McDonald's seat the hottest? I don't think it's the hottest, but he's definitely on the hot seat. At this point, you're 0-2. You're not looking great. You lost 2 games. You got embarrassed against the Colts, and then you lost the game against the Patriots. You should have been able to win. Yeah, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. It's one of those things. It is really one of those things. Third down and 7. McCarthy in the pocket, nothing there. He's gonna take off. Can he be able to beat the defender? He pump fakes. He puts his shoulder down and he reaches for that first down marker. He's gonna come close, but he's gonna be short. And I don't know, man. They may be willing to try to go for this on 4th down. You may want to try to set the tone here on Sunday Night Football. J.J. McCarthy, he reached. He kept. Oh, he's close. The knee was not down when he reached, so he's right at the goal line, and they're lining up and going for this on 4th down. They are lining up. It's 4th and inches, and they're willing to take the chance. Oh, my God. McCarthy got no push. McCarthy got no push. They're short. McCarthy didn't get an ounce of a push from that offensive line. The Falcons are short. Not the Falcons. The Vikings are short. The Falcons take over. The Vikings are short, and the Falcons are going to take over. They lost a yard. That was a terrible push. That was terrible. What happened? That's what happened. Oh my God. McCarthy fumbled the snap. That's why they couldn't get it. JJ McCarthy fumbled the snap. And because he fumbled it, because again, he was right there. He just had to lean forward for the first down. But JJ McCarthy fumbled the snap. Vikings should have thrown the red flag on fourth down. I don't know about that, man. Oh, you're talking about for the third down play to get the fourth down because McCarthy reached? That's debatable. That's debatable. On that third down play when McCarthy reached, you have a fair shot to say he probably could have thrown it, but I'm not fully sure they would have given it to him. Here comes Bijan. Bijan off the edge. He picks up 5. Second down coming up here for the Falcons. JJ McCarthy fumbled the snap on fourth down on the sneak. And because he fumbled it, bada bing, bada boom, turnover on downs. I have to do my recap video for the Browns tomorrow. I mean, for the Browns game, excuse me, tomorrow. I also have to make sure I do. Second down here, pressure was coming, and Penix was able to get it off to Bijan, and Bijan caught it, picked up the first down. So first down here for the Falcons. But yeah, I gotta do a bunch of stuff. I gotta do my recap video in regards to this game. I have to. We'll have our live stream tomorrow for the Ravens therapy session because we always do a therapy session whether we win or lose to kind of get a good sense of. Oh, that's incomplete. That's incomplete. The ball hit the ground. Incomplete pass. They just ruled it. That is an incomplete pass. Third down here for the Falcons. So yeah, we're gonna do a recap video. We gotta do our Ravens Week 2 therapy session, and I gotta apologize for this. This is a blunder on me. I completely forgot about it, and I thought I had done it. But we have to do our State of the AFC North address. I did not do a State of the AFC North address for Week 1. So we're going to have to do a State of the AFC North address for Week 2. Now, usually the State of the AFC North is kind of like a live stream, just like the therapy session. But I think the State of the AFC North address for Week 2 will have to be a video. So I'd probably say expect 2 videos tomorrow. You're going to get the recap video for the Browns and the Ravens game. And then expect State of the AFC North address because I forgot to do that in Week 1. There was definitely storylines we could have talked about because the Browns and the Bengals game was interesting. Baltimore blowing it against Buffalo, and then the Steelers beating the Jets. That would have been great to talk about, but I missed out on that. So we're going to talk about Week 2. So we'll see that debacle in Seattle. That debacle that happened in Seattle between the Seahawks and the Steelers. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the injury to Joe Burrow and what that could be, what that could end up meaning for the Bengals season because they're 2-0. They're 2-0 right now, so they're starting off well winning. But Joe Burrow is going to be out for the next several weeks, so we have to look at the schedule and see how that's going to fare with Jake Browning as the quarterback. Cleveland's now 0-2, so what's next for them? And looking at their schedule, knowing how difficult it is, how long is it going to be before they start looking at the rookies? And then we got to talk about the Ravens as they get ready for Monday night against the Detroit Lions. So we got things to talk about for the State of the AFC North address. So that will be a video tomorrow. Same thing for the Ravens-Browns recap. And then we'll do a live stream for the Ravens therapy session during Monday Night Football. Man, when football season's here, I got to juggle all these aspects of what we're supposed to do. Third down here, throw perfect by Penix to Kyle Pitts for the first down. Falcons moving the chains, 8:25 left to go in the first quarter, and the Falcons are marching. But yeah, there's a lot we got to do, man. When football season's back, there's so much we got to talk about. And I started the State of the AFC North address last year, and I want to keep that up. Because last year was very interesting with the State of the AFC North address. It went down all the way into the playoffs because the Ravens and the Steelers faced off. Cincinnati was hanging on and nearly made the playoffs. We had things to talk about. So yeah, I want to make sure I do the State of the AFC North address this year as well because things are interesting. And this week was interesting for the AFC North because we had another divisional matchup. First and 10, Penix fires, caught, Bijan picks up about 4, maybe 5 yards. Second down coming up here for the Falcons. I heard my bones crack. That's crazy. Second down and 5 here for the Falcons. They are in the red zone. They're looking to get to the goal line here. They're looking to score a touchdown. Looking to score a touchdown here and take a 10-0 lead. Here comes Penix. Fires to the outside. It's dropped. He got it to Bijan. If Bijan could have held on, it would have been there for the first down. Penix put it on Bijan, but Bijan was not able to hold on to the football. Incomplete pass, 3rd down and 5 here. Third down and 5 here for the Falcons. Penix in the shotgun here. Here we go. Penix takes a snap. Penix looking. He steps up. Nothing's there. He's going to roll to his left. He's going to fire to the end zone. Caught! Incomplete. Never mind. He could not hold on. He was looking for Mooney, and Mooney could not hold on. But even if he made that catch, I'm pretty sure his feet was out of bounds. I'm not sure he would have gotten that there. 4th down here. The Falcons will have to kick another field goal. Credit to the Vikings defense. Credit to the Vikings defense. They've held this Falcons offense to 2 field goals. They've held them to 2 field goal attempts. So here we go. 29-yard field goal here for the Falcons to extend their lead. The kick is up and it is good. And just like that, the Falcons have a 6-0 lead over the Vikings. That is the perfect situation to be in. That is the perfect situation to be in if you're the Vikings, given the circumstance, because you can go get a touchdown, kick the extra point, and take the lead. Bengals should be 0-2. They were so lucky in both games. Ravens should be 2-0, but they're not. At the end of the day, against the Browns, they got it done. Just because the Browns messed up and couldn't kick a football to save their lives, that has nothing to do with the Bengals. They did what they needed to do. And then with this game against the Jaguars, I can't even sit back and say they were lucky here. Jake Browning played a hell of a game. He threw 3 picks. It wasn't great, but when they needed him with the game on the line, he went like, 85, 90 yards? He had an 85, 90-yard game-winning drive. Jake Browning led a game-winning drive against this Jaguars team. So I'm not going to sit back and say it's luck, because they had to go 85, 90 yards to go win the game, and he did it. Shout out to Jake Browning for pulling that off. Jags don't know how to use Travis Hunter. They are trying to use him for both, and they're trying to manage his reps because they want to use him at corner and they want to use him at wide receiver. He wanted to play wide receiver. He wanted to play corner in the league. They're going to have to manage his snaps, and that's just what comes with it. I don't actually know how well. I don't know what Travis Hunter did in this game. I actually saw he had a couple, like a pass breakup or 2. But past that, I don't know what he did. Receiving wise, let's take a look at this because they lost. So 37-21. No, I'm not asking for the highlights of the game. Let me take a look at this. I want to see what Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter had 3 catches for 22 yards. They're still trying to figure out how to implement him into the receiving game. And then defensively, Travis Hunter had 2 tackles and he had a pass breakup. So I mean, Travis Hunter he's playing defensively. He's playing on the defense. He's playing on the offense. Feel how you want to feel. It is what it is. When do you think the Browns start Gabriel? After this 6-week stretch? Legit after this 6-week stretch. Here's Cleveland's first 6 games of the season. Just so you know. Cleveland, week 1, played against Cincinnati and lost. Week 2, played against Baltimore and lost. Week 3, they play against the Packers. Then they play against the Detroit Lions in Detroit. Then they got the Vikings. Then they got the Steelers. After that, they got the Dolphins, the Patriots, the Jets, the Ravens again, the Raiders, the Niners, the Titans, the Bears, the Bills, the Steelers, and then the Bengals. So after they have a tough 6-game stretch. If they start the season 0-6 or 1-5, they're going to throw Gabriel out there because there's nothing to play for. There's no playoff hopes to play for. So we're going to see after this 6-game stretch, they're 0-2 right now. At the very least, if they're 2-4, or 3-3 after this 6-game stretch, you can at least hope for a potential play. If it's 3-3, you got a shot. 2-4, you got an outside shot, but it's still a shot. If they're 1-5 or 0-6 after this 6-game stretch, season's done. You can start Gabriel. That's just how it's going to be. So the Browns will start Gabriel depending on how this 6-game opener for the season starts. If they start the season 0-6, Gabriel's coming in afterwards. If they start the season 1-5, Gabriel's coming in. 2-4 or 3-3, they'll still at least try to see if they can compete. And if it doesn't work out after a couple weeks, then they'll bring in Gabriel and bench Flacco. But this 6-game stretch is going to determine it. If they're 3-3, yeah, they're not moving to a backup quarterback. If they have an outside chance to make the playoffs, they'll fight for it. But if they're 1-5 or 0-6 and the season's basically over, then you put in your rookie quarterback. First down and 10 here for the Vikings. McCarthy under center here. He's going to hand the ball off to Aaron Jones, who's going to bounce off to the outside. Here comes Jones. Jones gets his feet taken off the ground. He gets his feet taken up off of him. Yeah, you know what I mean. He got his feet swept off of him. There we go. So, yeah, Aaron Jones picks up about 5-6 here. Second down coming up for the Vikings. McCarthy under center again. This could be play action. Here we go. They're going to hand it off again to Jones. Jones gets dropped right there. Actually, he picks up a yard. So he's going to be able to pick up a yard. Third down coming up here for the Vikings. Was resting Jair a blessing in disguise? Jair wasn't ready to go. Again, we as much as we liked to, we would have loved to have seen Jair really showcase what he could do in week 1. It wasn't a good decision to play him. Jair Alexander missed a month of football, had 3 practices, and we said, all right, go out there on Sunday Night Football and play 60 minutes. That's not a good thing. Jair is healthy, but they have to get him right. It's third down and 2. McCarthy gets sacked. Wow. Falcons pass rush got to McCarthy, and the Vikings offense is going to go 3 and out. They're going to have to punt the football. Vikings defense playing well right now to start this game. They got a turnover on downs and a 3 and out forced. That's what you want to see from the Vikings not from the Vikings, from the Falcons defense. The Falcons defense, I keep saying Vikings. The Falcons defense is off to a great start. A turnover on downs and a 3 and out forced. The Falcons defense is looking good to start this game. Let's see if they keep it up. But yeah, it was not a good idea to start Jair. Jair should not have been out there against Buffalo. He wasn't ready. He missed a month of practiced 3 days, and we said go play damn near 60 minutes against Josh Allen, the Buffalo Bills. We shouldn't have done that. The Ravens realized they did something stupid and said, you know what? Let's get Jair right. We brought Jair Alexander here to be an impact player for us in January. So let's get Jair right before we play him. There's no reason to put him on the field when he's not ready to go. Let's give him more time. Let's give him more practice. Let's give him more, opportunities to get accustomed to this defense, to get more comfortable, coming off of the injury. Let's get him to where he needs to be, and then you can play him. Should have done that earlier, but hey, lesson learned, I guess. Falcons defense is off to a great start today. They are really doing a great job. I don't need to hear about a Josh Allen I don't need to hear about a Josh Allen commercial, man. I don't need to hear about that. But yeah, Jair shouldn't have played in week 1, and they learned their lesson. Get him right, and then bring him back out, and let's see what he can do. What's wrong with the Bears? They're not a great football team. Did you think they were gonna magically turn into a great football team? They're not really a great football team. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, this is actually huge. So, just giving you a live report, according to Adam Schefter, Joe Burrow could end up missing 3 months if surgery is deemed necessary because of that toe injury. So we heard he was they I was gonna say diagnosed, but the official report was that he had suffered an injury, a toe injury. He was suffering turf toe, and because of that, he's expected to be out the next several weeks. But here's the thing: Schefter just said if Joe Burrow needs surgery on that toe, if they deem surgery necessary for Joe Burrow, he's out for 3 months. That essentially ends his season. It doesn't end his season, but it's mostly going to end his season. It's week 2. If he ends up getting the surgery right now, it's September, October, November, December. Technically, it's week 2. If he's out 3 months, he could be back by week 16, week 17. Penix in the pocket. He's going to check the ball down here to pick up about 2, maybe 3 yards. Second out coming up. Oh, flag on the play. We'll see what the flag's for. So if Joe Burrow ends up getting surgery, that's a potential season-ending injury. Illegal contact on the defense, first down, Atlanta. This is serious. If Joe Burrow needs surgery on his toe, the Bengals season is going to end again. So here's the ruling. According to Adam Schefter, images of Joe Burrow's turf toe injury are being sent to noted foot specialist, Dr. Robert Anderson, to be reviewed. If surgery is deemed necessary, it would be expected to sideline Burrow for 3 months. Burrow was in a walking boot and on crutches after today's game. If Joe Burrow needs surgery, that's the Bengals season. They have no chance to win a championship without Joe Burrow. And that's their season right there. It don't matter what you got to say. If Joe Burrow needs surgery, there's the Bengals season is over. It's time to admit Joe Burrow's injury prone. No one ever denied he wasn't injury prone. He absolutely is injury prone. But it is crazy, man. He's only had 3 seasons where he hasn't suffered an injury. The 3 seasons, Super Bowl appearance, AFC Championship game appearance, and last year where he was fully healthy and led the league in passing yards and passing touchdowns. So when the guy's healthy, he is that guy. But he just can't stay healthy. This is serious. If surgery is needed, Burrow's season is done. First down here for the Falcons. Bears ain't been right since that Hail Mary from Washington last year. Yeah, that Hail Mary kind of messed up everything, and they just haven't been the same team since then. If Joe Burrow needs surgery, it's not going to be a good look, bro. If he needs surgery, the season's over. The team expects to have full details tomorrow, so we're going to know tomorrow. If Joe Burrow needs surgery, Cincinnati season ends right here. First and 10. Play fake here. Penix down the field. It is caught by Kyle Pitts. First down. If this Joe Burrow injury is serious, the Bengals season ends right here. They have no chance to win. And they know that you don't have a chance to win a championship if Joe Burrow's done. If his season is over, the Bengals season is over. First down and 10 here. Timeout on the flag. Flag on the play. Offensive false start. Yep, there it is. False start in the offense. Bengals not making the playoffs. Dude, if Burrow's out for the season, they're not making the playoffs. They know it. Jake Browning's not taking them to the promised land. And it'll be another year that is wasted of Joe Burrow, which I just look at this at this point. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. If this is another season-ending injury for Joe Burrow, what do you do with this? Half his career, he's on the money, and half his career, he's off the field. He was drafted in what, 2019? Sorry, not 2019. He was drafted in 2020. 2020, season-ending injury. 2021, took the team to the Super Bowl. 2022, took the team to the AFC Championship game. 2023, season-ending injury. 2024. Nice sidearm throw by Penix. It's caught. Fumble! Fumble! The Falcons fumbled the ball. The Vikings got it. Oh my God. The Falcons were in Vikings territory. They knocked the ball out. First turnover of the game, and the Vikings defense comes up with a play. Vikings defense forces the fumble. First turnover of the game. Look at that peanut punch. Just knocks the football out of his hands. Oh my God. What a play by Wilson. Oh no, worst case scenario for Falcons. They had a chance to go up double digits, and it's just gone. Oh my goodness. But yeah, 2020, Joe Burrow, season-ending injury. 2021, took the team to the Super Bowl. 2022, took the team to the AFC Championship game. 2023, season-ending injury. 2024, was healthy the whole year but missed the playoffs because the defense stunk, and he led the league in touchdown passes and touchdown yards. And then you're telling me 2025 injury? In a 6-year career, he's going to miss 3 years due to injury. The other 3 years, Super Bowl, AFC Championship appearance, and touchdown pass, passing yard and passing touchdown leader. That's bad. Can the Bengals head coach get fired if that happens? I don't know if they would. I have no clue if they would blame him and say he should be fired for that. I have no clue. I don't know if they'd fire Zach Taylor for this. I feel like Zach Taylor should have been fired at some point. Is Joe Burrow the next Andrew Luck? People have already been saying it's similar to Andrew Luck. I don't think you say it's the next Andrew Luck. I mean, people have already been making those comparisons for years now. That fumble is bad. Oh boy, that's a tough fumble. That is a tough fumble, dog. That's a tough fumble. You cannot make that type of mistake there, man. That's a tough fumble. First down and 10 for the Vikings. They've got life here. Play action here. McCarthy fires it in. Caught. First catch of the game for Justin Jefferson. You knew he was going to JJ. Congratulations to Justin Jefferson for his 500 catch in his career. I think he's the youngest receiver to get to 500 catches. Or maybe he did it in the least amount of time. Either way, he just broke a record. Second down and 1. McCarthy under center here. Final minute of the quarter. You hand the ball off here. And the Falcons defense, again, they're not giving up anything right now with the run game. They're stopping the run. They're stuffing that. They're getting pressure up at the line of scrimmage. They're doing a great job. Third down coming up here for the Vikings. And they're going to have to snap this ball before the end of the quarter because the clock is going to run out before the time runs out in the first quarter. So they got to run one more play on third down here before the first quarter ends. Third down and 2. Third down and 2. They're going to hand it off here. And again, actually, they were able to get some good push right there. And they pick up the first down. And that is going to end the first quarter. That is going to end the first quarter. 6-0 game here. Falcons with the early advantage. Vikings picking up the first down and moving the chains. We'll see what happens at the end of the first quarter. I got to go check on my laundry because I know it could still be running, but I got to make sure. All right. My laundry's still going, so I still got time on that. All right. Here we go. 1st and 10 for the Vikings. McCarthy under center here. Play action. McCarthy checks it down here. Picks up about 2 yards. Checked it to Mason. Not much there. You picked up about 2 yards here. 2nd down coming up here for the Vikings. Here we go. Play fake. They're going to roll out McCarthy. McCarthy looking. Nothing's there. He's just going to go try to pick up some yards himself. 3rd down's coming up here. The Falcons are doing a good job getting pressure on McCarthy. They're giving him no time to throw. Even when they're rolling him out, they're still getting to him. Here we go. 13 pass yards so far for McCarthy. They got to get this offense going. It's going to take some time. 3rd down and 6. McCarthy in the shotgun here. Here we go. He's going to take the snap. Pressure's coming. He's got to find somebody. Fires downfield. It is caught. 1st down, Vikings. That's a tough throw right there. Good throw by McCarthy. It was a bit of a high throw, but still good throw by him to pick up the 1st down and move the chains. Great catch right there. Pressure was coming and McCarthy had to find a target. Also, good block by Mason because he gave McCarthy time to find somebody downfield. First down and 10 here. McCarthy under center. He's going to hand it off to Jones. Oh, sorry, to Mason. Mason runs, picks up about 5 yards. Second down coming up here for the Vikings. Yeah, I was right. He becomes the youngest player all time to reach 500 receptions. Congrats to him. False start on the offense here. Besides 2000, what was the best Ravens defense? 2006? 06 was the next best defense. Had they found a way to get it done against the Colts, they probably would have been. They didn't get to go on the run that the 2000 Ravens did, but that 06 defense is just as good. They held Peyton Manning to 5 field goals. He didn't score a single touchdown. He turned the ball over multiple times in that game. It's just Steve McNair was done. He was dealing with injuries, and he was done at that point. This is a great run here by Mason. He's going to pick up 8. Third down coming up here for the Vikings. Saints in a 6-game losing streak. I mean, is it surprising? You look at the team and look at their quarterback. Third down and 1. They're going to run this here. Falcons got good penetration there to try to stop the run, but he still leaned forward to pick up the first down. And the Vikings are putting together a nice drive here. Is Miami the worst team in the league? Arguably they are. But, Saints also look horrible too. There's a few teams that have that conversation, but Miami is definitely one of the ones I would definitely put my ticket on. Definitely. The Panthers, the Saints, the Panthers, the Dolphins, they fighting right now to see who's going to be viewed as the worst team in football. First down and 10. McCarthy gets slammed. That Falcons defense came in waves and put McCarthy down. That's going to go as a sack. Good job by the defense. What's going on, Chiefs will be Chiefs will chief. Hey, what's going on, man? I know you are definitely a little bit frustrated with how things turned out against the Eagles today. Second and 18 here. Pressure's coming again. McCarthy fires down the middle of the... Ooh. He was looking for TJ Hawkinson, and things did not go... That was a little bit dangerous. The ball got knocked out of his hand. Could have potentially been a risk to be picked off. And this Falcons defense right now, they are fierce. They're doing a good job. Look at the Falcons defense doing a good job here. Look at this. TJ Hawkinson had it, and then boom. Just couldn't hold on to it. Good job by the defender. Just applied pressure and knocked that ball out of his hands. He didn't even get a chance to fully possess it. Third and 18. At this point, you just want to get back into field goal range. You don't need to get it. You're not going to get all 18 back. Just get back into field goal range so you don't have to punt. Here we go. Deep drop back here. McCarthy has time. He's firing it downfield. Caught! He dropped it. But they're saying it's a catch. They're ruling it a catch. They're going to rule it a catch. I got to see. Catch, holds on, knee down, ball's moving, but it's still in this possession. They're going to rule that a catch. Falcons aren't challenging, so it will remain a catch. McCarthy looking towards the end zone. Caught! First and goal for the Vikings. Naylor is making some great catches here. making some fantastic catches. First and goal here. That's a great throw by JJ McCarthy. Bryce Young is legit. The O line is so bad though. That's a tough situation to be in. Room from Penix. Hey man, Penix is a good guy. A good guy. I don't know about him being a good guy. He looks good as a quarterback. I'm gonna say like that. I don't know any of these guys personally. I'm not gonna go to bat for somebody I don't know. But he looks nice out here. He's made some good throws today. JJ McCarthy, best drive of the game so far for the Vikings offense. Can they punch their ticket in to the end zone? Here we go. Play fake. McCarthy fumbled the ball, picked it back up, and now he's just rolling. Fires to the back of the end zone to Jefferson. Could not connect. He was supposed to roll and then get it to Jefferson, but he fumbled the ball there. Second and goal. Glad we ain't getting stopped like the Super Bowl. Hey, man, it is what it is. Yeah, Butker missing that kick plus Kelsey dropping that pass was the game. It was a tough one, man. It was a tough one. I figured we was going to lose before the game, though. I knew the Eagles were better. The Eagles are the best team in football. They got the best roster. They're not always going to play the best, though, and that's the thing, an aspect that, allows you to – because they didn't really play the best offensively, and your defense did a great job against Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley. You had a great chance to really take this game. It's just the mistakes that you guys made. And once Kelsey caused that interception, which would have gave you the lead, it would have made it 17-13. Kelsey doesn't make that catch. Mahomes ends up getting picked off in the end zone because it goes off of Kelsey's hands, and that's the game at that point. If those things don't happen, the Chiefs have a great chance to win. Second and goal. Play fake here. McCarthy gets pressured and dropped. Look at this Falcons defense, man. That's the third sack of the game. This Falcons defense looking nice tonight. This Falcons defense really looking nice. They're making plays. Look at this. Get off the edge and just drop McCarthy. Falcons defense going crazy. They're looking nice tonight. They're looking nice tonight, man. Both of their first round picks have a sack so far in this game. They're looking nice right now. Again, the Falcons have a lot of talent. It's just about putting it together. If they could put this talent together, the Falcons could be something. 3 sacks in the first half. That's beautiful. Third and goal. McCarthy takes a snap. He's got to buy time. Gonna step up. Nothing's there, and he's gonna be dropped again. That is the 4th sack of the game. And the Falcons defense, they're just getting to McCarthy. They're getting to McCarthy. If we don't beat the Giants, then we really might be 0-4 because we play y'all after that. I mean, I would never bet against the Chiefs when it comes to the Ravens playing them. The Ravens find a way to lose games against the Bills and the Chiefs and Steelers. So I wouldn't be surprised if you guys somehow lose to the Giants, go 0-3, and then we come to Kansas City and we lose to you guys because the Ravens they love choking away games. They love beating themselves. That's just what they do. So I would not be surprised if we lose to Kansas City. In fact, most of us expect that to happen. It's just been that type of situation for the Ravens. They can't be trusted as a football team. 33-yard field goal is up and good. It's a 6-3 game. What's up, Real? Great win for the Ravens today. Any win is great in the NFL. Yeah, it's good to see the Ravens win a football game, At least it makes your week good because when your team wins a football game, you can enjoy the rest of the week. When your team loses a football game, it just stings for the first 3 days and you got to deal with it. So it's cool to see them win, but it doesn't change anything about how we feel about the Ravens. It just means they handled business today. So congratulations on them for handling business and going to 1-1 on the season. You got a tough game on Monday Night Football against the Lions. Do your job. It really is unfortunate that we can't really talk about the Ravens with that level of energy and enthusiasm because we know how they love to choke away games. If it wasn't for that, honestly, a lot of us would be sitting here saying a lot more, but it's so tough to really do that because, well, we don't really have room to talk. I'm jealous of teams that got a good pass rush because we can't get pressure with just four. I mean, Baltimore struggles to also get pressure with four. We have to usually send the blitz. So I mean, we're not that far off with that. We can't touch Mahomes or Allen to save our lives with a four-man rush. We can't touch most quarterbacks. I mean, we got to Flacco a few times, but Flacco's a statue quarterback. I expect us to get to him. When you got to deal with mobile quarterbacks, if you don't have a good four-man rush, it's not gonna matter. So yeah, I mean, we don't really have much of a pass rush here in Baltimore, so it's really kind of difficult for us too. But this Falcons defense, man, these guys are flying around tonight. They showed up to play. Offense just can't make the type of mistakes they did. This could potentially be in the 13-0 game. I could still hear it going, but I know it's going to be done relatively soon. So at halftime, I gotta go and take care of my laundry. 7:06 left. Yeah, we got time before we gotta go deal with the laundry. So we'll be leaving at halftime to go handle that business. Chiefs have been overrated for the last 2.5 years, and yet, despite them being overrated for the last 2.5 years, they at least have a championship. In fact, they have two championships within the last 2.5 years. If you can't count this year, if you're talking about last year, the year before, and the year before, they got two out of the three. So yeah, I mean, I guess they've been overrated, but they've been winning championships. Herbert was too comfortable against us last week in the pocket. Besides the two blitzes that worked, yeah, the pass rush has to definitely be better for Kansas City. They got to be able to get to these quarterbacks, which is going to be problematic for them to deal with because when you got to deal with Lamar, you got to deal with Allen. If you're not going to bring pressure, and you can't get to them with a four-man rush. That's going to be problematic. And considering the fact that Allen and Lamar, they could just carve your defense up if you give them the opportunity to. If the Chiefs can't, first of all, I know what Kansas City is going to do against Baltimore. They can't get to Lamar with a four-man rush. You know it, I know it, they know it. They're gonna do what they always do against Baltimore. They're gonna play. They're gonna play a six-man man. They're gonna play a six-man blitz. They're gonna man blitz us with six players. It's gonna be a six-man rush against Lamar Jackson, and they're gonna see if we can beat that because they always do that against us. And the Ravens struggle against the man blitz. They struggle when teams man blitz. When they send five or six guys on the man blitz, the offensive line stinks, so they get cooked, and Lamar has to make a decision. He never gets time, and even when he does get time and he'll check it down and then read it, it doesn't always lead to the best of plays because, again, the offensive line stinks when they have to deal with pressure. I'm telling you this right now. You might have a chance to get to Lamar with a four-man rush. Baltimore's offensive line stinks when it comes to pressure. When it comes to handling pressure. If you blitz us, you're gonna smoke our offensive line. That's clear as day. The Ravens' offensive line sucks when it comes to handling pressure. They sucked today against the Cleveland Browns when the Browns were sending a lot of pressure. Myles Garrett was destroying worlds, and nobody could block him. So, again, Kansas City is going to do what they always do when they match up against us defensively. They know they can't really, they're not going to try to play zone coverage with Lamar because he eats that up. They're not going to play man-to-man because they're not turning their back against him. They're going to send a six-man rush at Lamar consistently and say, we're going to get to you because we know your offensive line can't hold up. Let's see how you handle this. That's what the Chiefs are going to do, and the Ravens have yet to figure out that puzzle, and I don't know if they'll figure it out this year, but we'll have to wait and see. 3rd down and inches here for the Falcons. Looking to pick up a first down. You do not want to go 3 and out after the Vikings find a way to put some points on the board. Your defense is playing well. Pay them back with a first down, and that's what they're going to do. You want to pay them back with some points. But a first down is a great start to get some points. Vikings Stadium looks so goofy, in my opinion. I don't know much about their stadium. How did Falele do today? I wasn't paying attention. The offensive line wasn't really great. In the first half, the offensive line struggled. They were better in the second half. In the first half, the offensive line was bad. They couldn't handle. Nobody could block Myles Garrett. They couldn't handle the pressure that Cleveland was sending. The offensive line looked awful in the first half. In the second half, they did much better as a unit. I don't know how Falele looks specifically. Be on the lookout. Somebody's going to do a film breakdown of this game, and you'll be able to see what the offensive line does from here. Play fake here. And dang, the Vikings defense gets the Penix, man. He tries to buy time on a play, and he gets smoked and dropped on the turf. 2nd down coming up here for the Falcons. Nice defensive play by the Minnesota Vikings. Turner just laid out Penix. Just dropped him. Second and long is coming up here for the Falcons. But that is the first sack of the game here for the Vikings. Second and 20. Penix takes the snap. Pressure's coming again. He's got to get rid of it. He fires across the middle. Incomplete. Third down and long coming up here. Ever since we lost Eric Bieniemy as our offensive coordinator, offense has been stalling for the last 3 years. You have Matt Nagy. I'm not surprised your offense is stalling with Matt Nagy. It is what it is. Third down and 20 for the Falcons. This is going to be, they're going to have to punt this, man. You don't want to force the ball down the field. They're going to have to punt this. Unless somebody makes a play to pick up a first down, this is going to be a punt. Falcons just got to make sure they don't turn the ball over here because you are still in your own territory and you don't want to give the Vikings a short field to try to put points on you. So as long as you don't do anything dumb and you don't force the ball, you get out of this clean, you punt the football back with 4:10 left to go here in the first half. Third and 20, just check the ball down. Penix, just check the ball down. There you go. Just check the ball down and just see if someone can make a play. Bijan picked up 16, but it's not going to be enough. So they're going to have to punt the football. Nagy's trash. I mean, we already knew that for a while. But hey, Kansas City keeps him around. Don't remember the last time the Ravens had a fumble return touchdown, maybe in the Colts game in 2020. The last time it happened was in 2020. Actually, I think it was in 2022. The last time that happened was in 2022. It was either 2020 or 2022. But either way, it's been a while. It's been a while, man. Falcons going to punt. Vikings going to get the ball back with a chance to tie the game or take the lead before halftime. And that's great tackle. Great tackling right there by the Falcons special teams to drop the returner right there. So, Vikings getting the ball back. 3:23 left to go here in the first half. All right, man, tomorrow's gonna be a huge day for the fan base. For the fan base, it's gonna be a huge day for the city of Cincinnati. It's gonna be a huge day for the Bengal fan base. This is tough. Uh, According to Ian Rappaport here, with torn ligaments and the severe turf toe injury, Joe Burrow's likely option is surgery. That means he'll be out for 3 months. And if he's out for 3 months, that would likely be from now till around December 14. If the Bengals stay alive, Burrow could come back by then. So if Burrow chooses surgery, he could be back by December 14, which is what, week 15, week 16? I think it's week 15 of the NFL season, which means if the Bengals can stay alive in the playoff race, Burrow could come back and help that team. But I don't know, man. This is bad. This is bad, man. This is bad. Bengals season is up in the air. If Jake Browning can keep them alive, that's cool, but I don't know. Let me look at the Bengals. I think the Bengals don't have a difficult schedule this year, so I think it's possible with Jake Browning. But I mean, what are they going to do against some of the tougher competitions that they got to deal with, especially when they got tough guys they got to face off against? They take on the Vikings next week. That's a tough game. Look at this. They got the Vikings, then the Broncos, then the Lions, then the Packers, then the Steelers, then the Jets, then the Bears, then the Steelers, then the Patriots, then the Ravens, November 27th, then the Bills, then the Ravens again. Joe Burrow, if he gets surgery, the earliest he could be back is that December 14th game against the Ravens in Cincinnati, which would be week 15 or week 16, week 15 and week 16. This is bad. I'm not going to lie. They got way too many tough games, and they can't afford to lose Joe Burrow here. First and 10, Aaron Jones is going to pick up. About 5 yards, maybe 6. But yeah, this is a bad situation for Cincinnati. I'm not going to lie. And he's too loyal to a fault because he was like that with our old trash defensive coordinator, Bob Sutton, until he retired and brought in Spags. Hey, man, it is what it is. It's the Andy Reid way. 2nd and 2. McCarthy fires across the middle. It is caught. First down here. Adam Thielen with the catch. Vikings move the chains. 2:40 left to go here in the first half. Looking to get some points out of this one here. So far, J.J. McCarthy is playing well, throwing the ball well, but they haven't been able to get in the end zone. Here is an opportunity to do so. They're going to have the 2-minute warning and 3 timeouts to try to go down the field and score a touchdown. There's no reason to rush here. You've got plenty of time, and you've got the timeouts to do something here. 1st and 10. Play fake here. McCarthy looking downfield. It is picked off! J.J. McCarthy gets picked off here. And with 2 minutes left, and he's in bounds. He's in bounds. That's an interception. He's in bounds. With 2 minutes left, the Vikings turn the ball over, and the Falcons have a chance to extend their lead. J.J. McCarthy has been targeting Naylor all first half, and somebody finally caught him lacking for doing so. That's not a good decision right there by J.J. McCarthy. That's a tough one. That is a toughie, man. That is a toughie. Both teams have turned the ball over once today. Turnover for each teams. 2:03 left to go. Michael Penix and the Falcons offense have a chance to extend their lead before halftime. You can run it here, and that's what they're going to do with Bijan Robinson. And he's going to pick up about 4. 2nd down coming up here for the Falcons. We are officially at the 2-minute warning here. Falcons with a 6-3 lead. 2 minutes left to go in the first half. That's a toughie, man. That is a toughie. But yeah, I'm continuing to look throughout the situation as we get any potential updates. Oh boy. So they're all but confirming this now. Because now I see an official report by the NFL that Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow is feared to have suffered a grade 3 turf toe injury that will require surgery and sideline him for at least 3 months. Nothing has been fully confirmed, but the breaking news is that he's expected to miss at least 3 months. And if that's the case, he won't be back till December. Which means the Bengals season is most likely over, especially because, Jake Browning, we'll see what he does, but Jake Browning's going to have to play like an elite quarterback. They've got the Vikings. The Vikings defense is good. Maybe you could win against the Vikings. J.J. McCarthy is a rookie quarterback, but you can't pull this against the Broncos defense and Bo Nix. Against the Lions, I don't know if they win that game. Against the Packers, I don't think they win that game. I could see with Jake Browning as quarterback, I could see them losing to the Broncos. I could see them losing to the Lions. I could see them losing to the Packers. I could see them losing to the Steelers. I could see them losing to the Ravens. I could see them getting swept by the Steelers. I don't know, man. I don't know. They got the Bills on the line. This is tough. This is tough. This is the worst situation that could happen for Cincinnati. Their season is essentially over. Unless Jake Browning can play at an MVP type level, the Bengals are not going to be able to survive without Joe Burrow. 1:59 left to go here for this first half. Falcons with the ball at the Vikings 35-yard line. 2nd down and 7. Penix takes the snap. Penix is looking towards his right. Flag on the play, and he gets rid of the ball. But a flag is thrown, so it doesn't even matter. This is going to be a false start. Oh, they're calling offsides on the Vikings? And there is an injured player that is down right now for the Minnesota Vikings. He is holding his ribs. Offsetting penalties. Okay. So we have an injured player down. They're still looking at him. We'll see what happens. Can't lie, low key feel bad for the Bengals. You gotta feel for them here, man. You gotta feel for them. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous, man. Yeah, this is bad. It looks like, I mean, they haven't. The NFL reporting this means it's likely going to be the case, but I think they're going to confirm everything tomorrow. Looks like Joe Burrow's going to be out for the next 3 months because he's going to require surgery on that toe. This is the thing we talk about, man, with the Cincinnati Bengals, man. This is why I look at them and say they're never going to get a Super Bowl with Joe Burrow because they're not doing their job in protecting him. The Bengals fans kept talking about keeping these three together. Listen, you can say whatever you want to say. You can feel however you want to feel about why they chose to keep that big three together. At the end of the day, you have to protect the quarterback. And if that means sacrificing one of your receivers staying here because you can't pay him, you have to look to get top tier offensive linemen, do what you got to do. But Joe Burrow is your franchise. You have to protect him. And they put him behind an offensive line that couldn't protect him. We sat here during the preseason game between the Commanders and the Bengals. We watched that offensive line play like garbage. We watched Joe Burrow take hits. He had no business taking hits in those games. And we all sat back and said, if this offensive line plays like this in the regular season, they're going to get Joe Burrow hurt. And 2 weeks into the season, Joe Burrow's hurt. He may be out for 3 months. This is ridiculous. At what point do you look at a franchise and say this is malpractice? You can sit back and blame Zach Taylor as a coach all you want. He's not building the offensive line. He's not drafting these guys. He's not bringing in these free agents. What are they doing to surround Joe Burrow with a proper offensive line to protect him? They're not doing that. They're not. This is organization malpractice. You paid all that money to Joe Burrow, invested in him by giving him that contract, yet you refuse to further finish the job by investing in his offensive line to protect him. You invested in the quarterback, but you didn't invest in his protection. And you expect to win a Super Bowl like that. That's why the Cincinnati Bengals are a poverty franchise. They won't be winning anything because they don't handle their business. You got a franchise quarterback that's one of the elite four, and you don't protect him. Way to go. You might have cost yourself another season. Oh, look at this run. Look at this run. Beautiful run inside the 20. On 3rd and inches, 1st down here. Clock continues to tick. Falcons got 2 timeouts. They want to make sure Minnesota does not get the ball before halftime. JJ Unless this defense makes creates a turnover, you ain't getting on that field in this first half. So get ready for the second half. Penix throws, caught, pick up about 5 yards here. Second down coming up here for the Falcons. Penix looking towards the end zone. Incomplete. That was a short throw. He was looking for Mooney. Didn't come close. Third down and 6. Third down and 6 here. Can they pick up the first down and keep the chains moving? Here we go. Penix takes a snap. Pressure's coming. Penix fires. Incomplete. 2 outside there. And again, the Vikings defense makes a stop. The Falcons are going to be forced to kick a field goal here. You'll still get points, but they'll be forced to kick a field goal here with 28 seconds left to go. Minnesota has 2 timeouts, but I doubt they do anything here unless they got a good return. 33-yard field goal. Kick is up and he's good. Yeah, it looks like this is really the case. The NFL sent this out. Schaffner spoke on it. Ian Rappaport spoke on it. Yeah, everything is just pointing to Joe Burrow being out for 3 months because he's gonna get surgery. 25 seconds left. I mean, we'll see if they're gonna try to do something here, but yeah, they gotta get a good return. This could be something, but no. I mean, it's not a good return. 18 seconds left. You get stopped at what, the 30-yard line? You didn't get much of a return here. I don't think you god awful Sunday night football game. This feels very similar to what we saw with the Bears and the Vikings on Monday Night Football, so I'm not really surprised. The Falcons have had opportunities to get in the end zone. They just can't. The Vikings had one opportunity to get in the end zone. They couldn't. So it's just been a good there's been good stops defensively, but there's also been some poor throws and some miscommunication and some bad decisions overall. I don't know why the Falcons, not the Falcons. I don't know why the Vikings are lining up and trying to do something with 18 seconds left. Please let this go. And McCarthy gets spun down and sacked. Please just let this clock run down. Who's calling a timeout? Oh, I Injury here for the Falcons. This is rough. This is rough. This is a young quarterback trying to do his best to figure things out. All right. How many times can one get sacked in the first half? I don't even remember. I don't even know the record. Justin Jefferson has 2 catches. I mean, has 2 targets and has 1 catch for 9 yards. At some point, you have to look to get the ball in his hands. Like you have, if you're JJ McCarthy, you understand you have Justin Jefferson on this team. You have to look to get him the ball. You have to. He can win those 50-50 matchups. 12 seconds left. I don't even know why. Just run the ball and call it a half. Nope, they're going for a pass. McCarthy's throwing down the field. Oh, it's Justin Jefferson. He gets them into field goal range. Timeout, timeout, timeout. Justin Jefferson, play of the game, gets them to field goal. I just talked about this. I said you have Justin Jefferson. You got to look to take a shot and give him the ball. And that's what JJ McCarthy just did. Oh, that's clean. Beats him cleanly. And he gets right into field goal range. That is the type of play you got to make before halftime when you got a Justin Jefferson. And he got down just in time for you to be able to kick a field goal here. That's why you don't give up before the half. Well, when you have Justin Jefferson, by all means, feel free to try that. But you would assume the Falcons defense wouldn't give up something like that. 51-yard field goal is up and it is good. 9-6 game heading into halftime. There is some life here for the Minnesota Vikings. That is a fantastic way to end this first half if you are the Minnesota Vikings. Specifically because the Atlanta Falcons, they got the ball first. So the Minnesota Vikings will receive the second half kickoff. You score 3 points heading into halftime to make it a 3-point game. Vikings get the ball coming out of halftime. That's a perfect way to gain some momentum heading into the locker room. We'll see if that pays off for the Vikings in the second half. I will see you guys in the second half, but for now, I got to go take care of my laundry. I've been waiting for halftime for a while now so I could go take care of my laundry. I'm going to go handle that, and I will see you guys in the second half of this game where we'll talk more about the Bengals being incompetent. Till then, guys. All right. We are back for the second half here. What's up, my brother? Hope all is well. Showing love, my guy. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Sorry I was gone. I had to take care of my laundry. So I was kind of dealing with that during halftime. But I appreciate it. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the support. Appreciate all of this, man. Vikings getting the ball coming out of halftime here. Offense coming on the field. They were able to steal 3 points just before halftime. Good on them for that. Thanks, Samuel. Appreciate that. Appreciate the love and support, guys. Vikings were able to steal 3 points. Great throw from J.J. McCarthy to Justin Jefferson to get them into field goal range just before halftime. They kicked the field goal. They got 3 points, and it's a 9-6 game. Now we start the third quarter here. Opening drive of the third quarter for the Minnesota Vikings. J.J. McCarthy, 8 of 11, 118 yards. He threw that interception. It is okay. He is a young quarterback working through it. Let's see how he responds in the second half here. Going to start with a toss to Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones got the edge. Aaron Jones going to pick up about 8 yards, maybe 9 yards. Second down coming up here for the Minnesota Vikings. J.J. McCarthy had a rough first half in his first game last week, but he bounced back in the second half, played well, and helped this team win. Can he do the same thing here against the Atlanta Falcons? Because he's going to need to do so if they're going to win this game today. Second and 2. Play fake. McCarthy standing in the pocket. He's going deep. He's looking for Thielen. Cannot connect with Adam Thielen. Incomplete. Third down and 2 coming up here for the Vikings. Third down and 2 coming up here for the Vikings. It's going to be a handoff here, but then again, with this formation, yeah, they got to throw this. He got the extra protection. McCarthy, he could step up and just take the first down. He threw another pick. That's just not a good decision by McCarthy. He's forcing the ball. He had a lane that was open. Just go pick up the 2 yards. McCarthy should have ran. He tried to force the ball. Oh no! Incomplete. Incomplete. It will not be an interception. First of all, that's supposed to be a catch by the receiver. TJ Hawkinson did not make the catch, and the ball hit the ground. That is an incomplete pass. You'll just punt the football. But J.J. McCarthy did throw it in the hands of T.J. Hawkinson. It was not an easy catch by T.J. Hawkinson, but he should have made the catch. I could have. I mean, I was sitting here saying McCarthy probably should have ran to pick up the 2 yards, but he put it in the hands of T.J. Hawkinson. Hawkinson could not hold on to the football. Ball hits the ground. It's not a pick. Incomplete. They'll go 3 and out. They'll punt the football back to the Falcons. So they're going to have to punt this ball here. Here we go. Falcons are going to be getting the ball back here. Vikings offense goes 3 and out. This has been a slow Sunday night football game, as to be expected. I don't think anyone looked at this and thought this was going to be an entertaining one. Obviously, this is vastly different from what we saw last week. But, it is what it is. First and 10, B. John Robinson. Oh, it wasn't down. He wasn't down. He's going to pick up 9 yards. I thought he was down at contact there, but he kept spinning and he did not go down. That's a great pickup. 9 yard pickup here for the Falcons. Second down coming up here for the Falcons. Most sacks in the first half since 2010. What they have on him? 4 or 5 sacks? 4 or 5 sacks in that first half by the Falcons. Is it the most sacks in any first half since 2010, or most sacks for any first half of the Falcons since 2010? I don't know how many sacks they had. I thought it was 4 or 5 in the first half by that defense. They're gonna run it with Bijan, and Bijan's gonna pick up the first down. So he just had to get the first. He got to pick up the first down, just get a yard, and that's what he did. And after that, he got dropped. So first down here for the Falcons. Bijan has 100 plus yard scrimmage games since 2023. And the two other people next to him that have 18 is Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley. But Bijan got 20. That goes to show you how talented this guy is, man. He's something special. First down and 10 here for the Falcons. Penix is going to take the snap, play fake here. Flag on the play, and that's going to kill the drive. This is going to be on the offense for a false start. That was the most sacks in the first half of the Falcons since 2010. Hey, man, good for them. First and 15. Penix takes a snap, quick throw across the. What was that? What the hell was that throw? Who was he throwing the ball to? He just took the snap, two-step drop and threw it. Who was he throwing that to? What the hell was that throw? Wow. Okay. You got it, Mike. Penix, I don't know what that throw was, but you got it, dude. Second down and 15. Penix. Oh, they faked the handoff here. What was that? It was a direct snap to Bijan. Wow. I'm assuming that was a direct snap to Bijan. I have to assume that. Otherwise, that would have been a terrible snap. I'm assuming that was the play, a direct snap to Bijan to catch the defense off guard because they thought it was going to be Penix. But here we go, 3rd and 5. Penix fires downfield, caught. First down, Falcons. Got it to Mooney. Mooney for the first down here for the Falcons. They're going to move the chains. First down here. And the Vikings defense going to make a stop on that run. Here we go. 2nd and 11. Penix fires, caught. Mooney makes a couple moves. He's short of the first down, but he picks up about 9. Third down coming up here. Third down and 2. They're going to run this ball here, and they're going to pick up the first down. The Falcons continue to move the chains. Falcons had 13 sacks all of last season. They just had 5 in the first half. Congratulations to them. That goes to show. I think both of their first round draft picks got a sack in this game so far. So good for them. First and 10. Here goes Bijan. Here goes Bijan. Getting inside the 30, down to around the 21-yard line. Bijan has been carving his defense up. Over 100 yards rushing for Bijan Robinson. First down and 10. Gonna hand it to Bijan again. Bijan's having a lot of work today, man. They are really feeding him. Bijan is the third best running back in the league based on performance wise. You can argue, yeah. I mean, it's Saquon, then Derrick Henry, then Bijan, yeah. Second and 7. Penix rolls to his left, fires, had a man open there, get to the Bijan. Bijan is just cooking this Vikings team on his own. Bijan is doing what he needs to do, man. That's fun. Third down and 2 here for the Falcons. Let's see if they can pick this up. You get it to the Vikings defense just makes a stop on that run play. Vikings defense makes a stop on that run play. And at this point, either you choose to be aggressive because you ran it on 3rd and 2, or you just kick a field goal. You're up 9-6. So you could just choose to kick a field goal and just add more points because it feels like that's the game you're going to deal with. Or you could choose to go for it. What is going on to my guys at the lunch break hot take? How you guys feeling, man? How are y'all feeling? How are y'all feeling about the games, man? I mean, Ravens did what they were supposed to do against the Cleveland Browns. You expect them to do that. I don't think anyone was surprised about that. But I don't know what to make of the Panthers, bro. I'm trying to figure out how I'm supposed to look at this Panthers team. And again, it felt like it was another situation where they're not starting fast, they're not executing offensively with these plays. And then it's just like late in games when you're already down big, all of a sudden you start to see the offense get in the rhythm and you feel like a comeback's happening, but then they just aren't able to finish it off. The Panthers offense is very confusing to me with how things are going. Yeah, feel good about the Ravens. Panthers not so much. The Panthers offense is confusing me, man. It's weird how the Panthers have been playing football through these first 2 weeks because it feels like they're playing themselves out of these games and then trying to play themselves back in. But there's only so many opportunities you're going to get when you're down double digits and you're trying to put a comeback together. I mean, they had a chance at the end they had a chance at the end against the Cardinals, but you were already down by so much that you're pushing this comeback and it's cool, but it's just like you're out of time. If the Panthers could just start well offensively and execute well offensively in the beginning of the game, it would do so much for them because we're seeing down the stretch in these late game situations, they're actually playing relatively well. So yeah, the Panthers right now offensively, they seem to just not be on the same page. Bryce is also making some mistakes he shouldn't be making at this point, but it's just it's just a bit of a mess right now with the Panthers. Hey, bro, first time hanging out with you. What's going on, Willie? Appreciate you stopping by. Did you hear how long Burrow will be out for? I was speaking about that in the first half. They put the report out that it's a grade 3 turf toe injury for Joe Burrow, which is most likely going to require surgery. And since it's going to require surgery, Joe Burrow is expected to be out for 3 months, which means the earliest he could come back would be December 14th, which just happens to be the game against the Ravens in Cincinnati. I don't know how this is going to go. But when you take a look at the Bengals schedule, they have some tough opponents over the next several weeks. And I don't know if Jake Browning is going to play it at such a high level. Because when you watch the game, the Jaguars really blew this. Jake Browning came in, he threw 3 interceptions. It's not like Jake Browning was this superhero that came in and just dominated the Jaguars. The Jaguars blew that game. They had 3 picks off of Jake Browning and could not capitalize and win the game. That's on the Jaguars for not executing down the stretch. They also allowed like a 90-yard game-winning drive from Jake Browning. That's again on the Jaguars. You're not going to get those type of breaks every week. They got to take on the Lions. They got to take on the Packers. They got to take on the Bills. They got to take on the Ravens. They got to take on the Steelers twice. During the time Burrow's going to be gone, they got to take on all these opponents. They got the Broncos coming up too. They got the Vikings next week, and I think they got the Broncos afterwards. I don't like the Bengals' chances to do anything without Joe Burrow. I really think their season could end here because I don't know if I can trust Jake Browning to beat some of the opponents that they're gonna have to face off against. I already thought it was gonna be difficult for the Bengals with Burrow to beat some of the guys they had to play. But now there's no Joe Burrow, and Jake Browning is gonna have to go up against the Broncos defense. He's gonna have to go up against the Packers defense. He's gonna have to go up against the Lions defense. And we know Cincinnati's offense is not going to slow down the Lions offense. So how is this going to work? They got a lot of tough teams they got to go up against. I don't know. This really could be it. Another wasted year potentially for the Cincinnati Bengals because they didn't protect their franchise quarterback. First down and 10 here for the Vikings. You're down 12-6. The game is still there for you. You just have to execute and catch the football, in these situations. 6 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. There's still plenty of time for the Vikings offense. They just got to get something going. My first round pick, Jamar, had some say today. I mean, Jamar Chase is going to do what he does, bro. With Joe Burrow, without Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase is going to do Jamar Chase things, and he's going to have to carry offensively. Him and T. Higgins are going to have to carry without Joe Burrow being here. This is just going to be a tough one for them. Their season could be derailed again. 2nd and 7. Good thing they're 2-0 right now, I guess. McCarthy checks it down to Jones. Jones nearly picks up a first down. He's going to be a yard short. Third down coming up here for the Vikings. Five minutes left to go in the third quarter. Third down and 1 here for the Vikings. They're going to run it here. And they're going to be short. Don't watch the Colts. I didn't watch the Panthers or the Colts games. What happening? I mean, well, the Panthers just didn't play well offensively. Offensively, they're starting off slow. Defensively, the defense struggled to stop Kyler Murray from taking off and utilizing his legs. They really let Kyler Murray really do whatever he wanted. So defensively, they weren't solid to begin with, and again, offensively for the Panthers, once again, they started off slow. But towards the end on towards the end of the game, as things were winding down, the Panthers started coming back because their offense started to connect more and they were able to execute on plays. Fourth down, they're going to put a quarterback sneak here and they're going to pick up the first down. So as the game went on in the fourth quarter, they started to try to mount a comeback and ultimately they fell short. That's what happened with the Panthers. I didn't really watch the Colts and Broncos game, but the Colts and Broncos were going back and forth. Bo Nix had like 3 touchdown passes. He was balling out. He was doing his thing. The Colts are really playing well right now with Daniel Jones, and Daniel Jones looks to be good through 2 weeks, but I'm not buying that. I remember when the Saints were 3-0 and Derek Carr was an MVP candidate, and then everything went to hell. So we'll see how it ages out through the first half of the season before I'm going to crown Daniel Jones because of 2 games. But yeah, Daniel Jones was playing well. Apparently, somebody made a mistake down the stretch. committed a penalty they shouldn't have committed, and that's what cost the Broncos their game. Great run here, but a flag's on the play. Great run by Mason, but this could be coming back. And it will be coming back because of offensive holding. I 100% agree and good take on the situation, sir. I appreciate it, man. That's basically it. I just don't see how the Bengals are gonna win with Jake Browning when they've got a lot of difficult opponents they have to face off against. They don't have an easy schedule this year, so they were gonna struggle with Joe Burrow being there. It's a good thing that they started off 2-0 because they're gonna need this. I don't know if Joe Burrow's out for 3 months, they're gonna have to fight. It's gonna be really tough, but this could go really bad for Cincinnati. They could go from 2-0 to 2-2 real quick. And if things get even worse, next thing you know, by the time we get to halfway through the season, they could be under 500. I don't know how this is going to go for Cincinnati. I don't know how Bengals fans feel about this, but their season could essentially be over before it begins, or before it truly begins here. Play fake. You're going to check it down. Oh, no. Aaron Jones had some space on that screen, and he just did not catch the ball. 3rd down and 20 here. Man, the Vikings, man. The Vikings are just struggling, bro. Or sorry, 2nd down and 20. The Vikings are just struggling here. The Vikings are struggling offensively to be able to execute. The play fake here, and you need Aaron Jones to he's got to catch this one, dude. 2nd and 20. Can you get some of it back? Here we go. McCarthy takes a snap. You just need some of it. You don't need all of it. McCarthy can't take a sack there. He's going to utilize the wheels. J.J. McCarthy gets a block. J.J. McCarthy, he's running. He gets some good yardage there. He got close to a 1st down. He might have picked up 16 on that one, maybe even more. That was a great run by J.J. McCarthy. 3rd down coming up here. Is this good defense or bad offense? Well, for the Falcons, it's good defense. They had 5 sacks in the first half on McCarthy, and they picked him off. So I'm going to say good defense for the Falcons. Vikings, it's a bit of both, where it's been bad offense in key situations, but also good defense when they've needed it. He picked up exactly 16. I was right. 3rd down and 4 here. They got a shot. There's a jump. Somebody jumped. That's a false start. 3rd down and 9. Now, this is an example. That's what I'm saying. Bad offense versus. This is an example of some bad offense because some of these penalties, you just bet, what are you doing? Third down and 9. Just making things difficult here for your young quarterback. And now they're sending pressure. They're going to send 5. They sent 5. McCarthy fires. It's incomplete. He was looking for Jefferson. Hits the ground. Incomplete pass. And the Vikings have to punt yet again. Oh, boy. This is the type of game it's going to be. These penalties are killing everything for the Vikings. They can't get anything going offensively. Vikings going to have to punt. Falcons getting the ball back again. Falcons are really playing with fire here. They have a real opportunity to try to put this game away because the Vikings can't score. So if the Falcons can do something with this, it'll be great. Ah, this is rough. This is rough. The Vikings can't get anything going offensively. The Falcons have a chance to win this. I mean, they have a chance to take command, and They're keeping the Vikings in the game because they're not executing when they need to. Oh hey, boy. This is a rough game. This is a rough game for the Vikings. But again, you got a young quarterback that you're gonna have to work through the kinks with. These are gonna be some of them. Both of these guys are young quarterbacks. That's why I wanted to watch this because I knew it was going to be a tough game no matter how you look at it. So let's see what the Falcons can do here. Can they extend their lead? They have the opportunity to do so. First and 10 here for the Falcons. They're going to run with Bijan. Bijan has been killing them all game. We got a minute left to go here in the third quarter. What are they thinking putting this on prime time? You're going to get games like this, dude. Oh! That's the play you want to see from your defense. Wow. They smoked him. They smoked Michael Penix and just dropped him. Third down coming up here. That's a great defensive play by the Vikings defense. They need it right now. They got to get their offense the ball back. Third down and 14 here. Got to hold up defensively. Don't give up a big play. Force them to check the ball down and watch out for Bijan. Third and 14. Deep drop back here. Penix gets that ball knocked down, incomplete. They're going to punt the football here. Vikings. All right, let's see. So I was checking on my boy Sutton. He's doing a recap of the Ravens and Browns game. I was just checking on him. But fourth down here, they're going to have to punt this football in. We gotta see if they can get good field position here. Take that one. Here we go. Can we get some good blocking? He's gonna try to cut it back, but nothing really there. They're gonna start around midfield, so that's still good field position. And that's gonna end the third quarter. 3 quarters down, 1 quarter left to go. The Vikings are down by 6. Can their offense spark a drive that leads to points, especially if they can get in the end zone? Can they get a touchdown out of this drive? We'll find out coming up soon. 12-6 game heading into the fourth quarter. All right. right. Let's wrap this game up. Sunday night football. We got two more games up. What's going on, Josh? We got two more games on Monday night football. Those games should be better. Let's wrap up Sunday night. Let's see if the Falcons can hold on, or let's see if the Vikings can get it done. Vikings are 1-0 on the season. They would love to go 2-0 because the Packers are 2-0 and they want to keep up with them. So this would be a great chance for the Vikings to do so. Falcons are 0-1. They want to get to 1-1. This would be a great opportunity for them to do so too. 12-6 game here. Vikings have a chance. 1st and 10. J.J. McCarthy immediately gets dropped. He fumbled the ball. He fumbled the ball. Immediate turnover. And J.J. McCarthy looks shaken up. Looks a little shaken up. This Falcons defense has put J.J. McCarthy under smoke all night. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Jesus. Oh, my goodness. Look at this, bro. Oh, my goodness. Damn near ripped his head off. His helmet nearly came off, too. It's nothing you can do about this. This Falcons defense is smoking J.J. McCarthy tonight. What is the offensive line doing? Maybe J.J. has to shift the protection. I don't know. But 6 sacks in this game and 2 turnovers created. This defense is just making J.J. McCarthy look pedestrian. This is just bad. And now the Falcons in Vikings territory can put up even more points. 1st and 10, you just give it to Bijan. And here goes Bijan. Bijan nearly picks up a 1st down. They can't stop him. They cannot stop him. Over 100 yards rushing today. They cannot stop Bijan Robinson. He was so close to breaking through. And J.J. McCarthy, man, he's just trying to stay positive right now, but 2 turnovers for him today. It's just not a good look. An interception that was a bad throw and a fumble when he got smoked on that one. It's just a tough night for a young quarterback. And when you're going up against a defense that is playing ferocious and they're getting to you consistently, this is what's going to happen. 2nd down and 2 here. Penix just got to hand that ball right back to Bijan. And Bijan is going to fight, spin move, gets the edge and picks up the 1st down. And this is just getting bad for the Vikings. Vikings got to get something going. It's if there's anything that's been good from this Vikings defense, it's the fact that they've literally been holding on for dear life in terms of stopping these guys from getting in the end zone. But this right here is just awful. This is awful. First and 10. They're just going to hand it to Bijan. You had a defender that could have made a tackle there. He didn't, but the Vikings did make a stop behind the line of scrimmage. That's a good stop by the Vikings defense. Still keeping them in this game. Still plenty of time for the Vikings. But the Falcons, again, they have the opportunity and the advantage to put this game away for real, or at least take a real commanding lead. Second and 12, Penix. Careful with this ball, man. He gets smoked and sacked. And he's going to be pushed further back. And that's going to knock them out of field goal range. 3rd and long coming up here. This Vikings defense is doing everything they can to keep this game alive. That's the 3rd sack of the game here for the Vikings defense. And Penix, man, he just got swallowed by the pass rush. Look at it. 3 of the defenders got right there and just smoked him. Vikings defense is bringing the pressure, and it's working. It's 3rd and 21. Dude, just hand the ball to Bijan Robinson and see if he can get... They're out of field goal range right now. They are out of field goal range. They have to pick some yards back to get back into field goal range. Pressure's coming again. Timeout is called by the Falcons. The Falcons called a timeout before the play. Atlanta called a timeout because it looked like the play clock was going to expire, which would have knocked them back 5 yards. So he had to call that timeout so they didn't get a delay of game call. This is a toughie. But JJ McCarthy still has some life left. Third and 21 here. You got to get some yards to get back into field goal range. Here we go. Penix takes a snap. Just check the ball down. And that's all you needed. You're back in field goal range to an extent. It won't be an easy field goal, but it is technically a field goal that you could get. So 55-yard field goal here. Penix hit Kyle Pitts for about 5 yardage here. 5 yards, maybe 6. But it's going to be a 55-yard field goal here. Won't be easy kick. But all you've been getting in this game so far a field goal. So you got to hope the kicker is ready. No, they only picked up 3 yards instead. I thought they picked up 5. They picked up 3 yards. So 55-yard field goal. This is not going to be an easy one. Oh, no, 54. 54-yard field goal. It won't be easy. He's got to hit this, man, to make it a 2-score game. Here we go. Oh, he got it. That was beautiful. He is on fire right now. That was beautiful. 5 for 5 on field goals today. Falcons up by 9. 15-6 game. Still plenty of time in the fourth quarter. Let's see what happens when the Vikings offense come out. But they're running out of chances. They have got to make some sort of stand at this point. The offense has to put some points up if you're the Vikings. All right, Vikings, let's see what you can do here. 11 minutes left to go. Nice yardage picked up on first down. What's up, keeping it real? This game is so boring. It's to be expected. You have two young quarterbacks trying to put it together. You're going to get games like this. I didn't get to see the Browns-Ravens game. The one positive I heard from Cleveland, though, is Dylan Gabriel threw a touchdown in the fourth. And he and Shedeur hopefully get to play. Well, Shedeur didn't get to play. In this game. It was really just Dylan Gabriel. But based on how things are going to go and looking at their schedule, if they go 0-6, at some point you're going to play Dylan Gabriel, and at some point you're going to play Shedeur Sanders. But in terms of the game, Browns defense did everything they could to keep the game alive. Ravens were getting dominated in the trenches in the first half. Nobody could stop Myles Garrett. He was doing whatever he wants. He was getting to Lamar. He was dropping Derrick Henry. He was disrupting everything in the first half. Baltimore didn't really feel comfortable in the first half. They were still up because, they were able to do something. But it was really more of a game where in the first half, defense and special teams actually did their jobs for once. And then in the second half, the offense took over. 3rd and 1. Oh, here we go. You got to play. 3rd and 1. J.J. McCarthy has Naylor streaking down the sideline one-on-one alone for what could be a touchdown, and he overthrows his receiver. Wow. But yeah, first half, the offense was okay. It wasn't anything spectacular because the Browns defense is legit, and they were putting so much pressure on our offensive line. They were just killing it. So shout out to the Browns defense. They're for real. But special teams made a play. They blocked the punt, which put us in field goal range, and Lamar finished it with a touchdown to Tylan Wallace. Other than that, not much really happening there offensively. He had 2 other field goals. Other than that, defense was doing their job. Come third quarter, Ravens offense did a lot better. Ravens did a whole lot better offensively in the second half and did what they needed to do. Meanwhile, the defense got a pick off of Flacco. Nate Wiggins picked off Joe Flacco and nearly took it to the house. And they got a strip fumble that was recovered by Roquan Smith, and he took it to the house for a touchdown. Yeah, the Ravens just took over in the second half. So Browns defense did everything in their power to try to keep their team in the game, but the offense did not help them. The offense got a touchdown on a 4th down situation that was literally a movie-type touchdown because the ball was in Marlon Humphrey's hands for a pick. It slips out of his hands and falls into the hands of the receiver in the end zone. It was legit some Disney Channel-type nonsense. Chiefs are 0-2. They can't do anything on offense without Rice and Worthy. I mean, well, yeah, when you don't have your top 2 receivers, you're not going to look great. I mean, Hollywood Brown isn't really changing anything. Hollywood Brown is not that type of receiver. He's not a legit top-tier receiver, and he's not going to be doing much of anything. And even if he could, they'll just lock into him and make sure he doesn't get off. Travis Kelce's here and there, but Travis Kelce cost him the game because the ball is in his hands at the goal line. Mahomes puts it on him, and he fumbles the ball, and it ends up in the hands of a defender. That's how you lose the game. So Travis Kelce's mistake cost them because they had a chance to go up 17-13 in the fourth quarter, but he makes a mistake and it goes from 17-13 possibly to 20-10. And that ultimately was the game. Didn't matter. Mahomes also didn't look as sharp as we expected to. Mahomes hasn't really been looking like Mahomes. He had a wide open receiver, missed him. It would have been a walk-in touchdown, missed him. It's either going to be Bills or Ravens in the AFC Championship. In fact, that could be the championship game, if not the Chiefs. Too early to say that, Sam. Way too early. We've seen seasons where Kansas City has struggled. I know this is the first time they're 0-2, but again, we give them the benefit of the doubt and the respect because we've seen multiple seasons now where the Chiefs' offense has struggled and they still got to the Super Bowl. The last 2 years, the Chiefs' offense has been terrible and they've been getting carried a lot by their defense. They still got to the Super Bowl. It's too early to make that assessment. Guys, it's week 2. We don't know what these teams are going to be. And you just pointed out that they can't do anything on offense without Rashid Rice and Xavier Worthy. That's their top 2 wide receivers. What do you think is going to happen when you get your wide receiver 1 and your wide receiver 2 back? Things are going to improve offensively. They still got a great defense, and their defense played well enough to beat Philadelphia. Their offense just didn't make the plays, and Travis Kelce cost them the game. The Chiefs aren't going anyway, even though they're 0-2. Once they get Worthy back, once they get Rice back, different conversation. And they can always still fix this. I'm not going to throw the Chiefs away and assume things are over just because they're 0-2. We always try to throw this away, and then the Chiefs end up in the Super Bowl, and everyone's like, what happened? Well, you overlooked the Chiefs for the 12 millionth time. Let's see what happens as the season goes on. If we're sitting here in week 14 and the Chiefs are under 500, then we can make that argument. but it's way too early to just write the Chiefs off. Last time the Chiefs were 0-2, the iPhone 6 was just released. Yeah, it's been quite some time, my guy. First down and 10 here. Honestly, the Falcons just have to make sure they continue to run this clock down. Move the chains, run the clock down. You're up 9. The Vikings are the ones that need it. And I'm surprised they're punting the ball in that situation. It's a 4th and 1. I get it, but I don't know. Their defense is, they're playing well enough to give them an opportunity, but I don't know, man. You're kind of running out of time. 9 minutes left to go in the game. You got to force a 3 and out here. Did Washington play bad or is Green Bay legit? Green Bay's defense is legit. They shut down. They were all over the place. Micah Parsons spent the entire night harassing Jaden Daniels, and it wasn't a good look. Also, Austin Eckler's out for the season with a torn Achilles, so that's something we just have to deal with. But yeah, Green Bay's defense is legit. That secondary was actually holding up, and their pass rush is just killing it. Micah Parsons added to that because they already do a good job stopping the run. But then you got Micah Parsons added to that pass rush and the secondary holding up the way they're doing. Right now, through 2 games, Green Bay looks legit. No question. True, but the tough start to the season until they get Rice and Worthy back could be crucial, like how the Bengals started slow until this year. Again, it's going to be tough, but if there's anybody you would trust to be able to figure it out, it would be the Chiefs because they've done it before. So it's going to be tough. No one's going to say it's going to be easy. It's going to be tough, but they're going to have to figure it out. 3rd and 3, and they give up a first down. You need the Vikings defense to make a stop there. If you're the Vikings defense, you got to force a 3 and out. If Joe Burrow's out for the season, the Bengals are screwed. Oh, they've already said he's most likely going to need surgery. So he's going to be out for 3 months. The best, he'd be able to be back by like week 15 or week 16. But he's going to probably be out for 3 months if he gets surgery. But we'll see how that process goes. But if he's out for 3 months, their season's done. They're not winning with the schedule they have. Dolphins going to trade Tyreek Hill back to the Chiefs. Oh, it's all but certain, dude. It's all but certain. I've been saying this for months now that Tyreek Hill's getting sick and tired of what's happening in Miami, and he's going to ask for a trade back to Kansas City. And with the way the Dolphins are looking, trust me, that situation could happen sooner rather than later. So I think it's a high chance that Tyreek Hill's going to get traded. And if there's any team that's going to look to get him, it would 100% be the Kansas City Chiefs. The second team that may look to get him is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Holding on the offense, that's going to move them back 10 yards. Not what you need right now if you are the Falcons and you're trying to kill the clock and ice this game. You're giving life to the Vikings. But yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, I trust the Chiefs to be able to get out of this situation because they always do so. Until they show me that they can't, I have no reason to go against them. Just like with the Ravens, until they show me they can win a championship, it's hard. It's hard for me to just sit back and be like, oh, they're going to get it done because of how they look and the amount of time they have. No. Not to mention, we play Kansas City in week 4. Are you sure we win that game? 1st and 20 here for the Falcons. Penix takes the snap. Quick throw across the middle of the field. It is caught. They didn't make the tackle. 1st down. You have a 1st and 20 situation and the Vikings defense does not make a tackle. It's a slant. It's a simple slant. 2 guys missed the tackle, and he goes and picks up the 1st down. Nobody tackled Drake London. It's a slant. You have to make the tackle right there. It's just a 5-yard pickup. 2 guys failed to make the tackle, and he turns a 5-yard gain into 20 yards in the 1st down. What is this game's over. This game is over. How about the Colts? I was so wrong on them with Daniel Jones. Again, Sam, it's only been 2 games. Everybody remembers when the Saints were 3-0 and Derek Carr was in the MVP conversation. Please hold on in your assessments. Everybody, we do this every year. Hold off on your assessments until midseason. That at least gives you an accurate depiction about how these teams are. Let's not jump the gun. We do this way too much. We literally saw Derek Carr be seen as the MVP candidate, a top MVP candidate, and the Saints were 3-0. We saw their season end right after that because they turned into crap. Daniel Jones is playing well through 2 games. Congrats to him. The Colts are 2-0 through 2 games. Congrats to them. Let's see how they are midseason. Let's not sit back and make these assessments. I was so wrong about this. It's 2 games. It is 2 games. This can flip so quickly. It is 2 games. Just like the Chiefs are 0-2, we don't make assumptions and decide, oh, it's over for the Chiefs. Let's see where things are by midseason. Then we make an assessment. You know what the crazy thing is with Lamar is Lamar beat the Bears and the Packers. If Lamar beats the Bears and Packers, then he beats all 31 teams. Yeah, he would become the youngest to do that. Great win today. Can't wait for the. Okay, Brandon, I'm not wasting my time with that, bro. I'm not. I don't even know why you're talking about Super Bowl. It's week 2, dude. Trade him to Denver. Give my man Bo a weapon. He has Courtland. He has Sutton. He has weapons. Denver has weapons, and they're a young team too. Not to mention, Derek Carr became the first quarterback to lose to 31 teams. That's not fun either. That is really not fun. The Carr family, they got to be cursed. Both Derek and David. Their careers are just cursed. McCarthy's trash week 10. He'll still look the same. Okay, then let's wait and see in week 10. I wasn't talking about J.J. McCarthy with my assessment, by the way. I was talking about Daniel Jones looking good through 2 games and people making assessments. But this is his first season. This is essentially J.J. McCarthy's rookie year. I don't know how he's going to look in week 10, but this is J.J. McCarthy's rookie year. This is essentially his first time playing regular season football. Obviously, he's going to struggle. Obviously, he's going to have some tough moments. That is expected when this is your rookie quarterback just getting started. He's not where he needs to be. I always say this. It takes 3 to 5 years for a quarterback to develop into what he's going to be. Let's not write off J.J. McCarthy in week 2 of what essentially is his rookie season. Will he look the same in week 10? I don't know. Let's wait and see what happens in week 10. But we cannot write these guys off. This is why us as fans, we do this so much. NFL fans are like children. Their attention spans are so short. If somebody's balling out today, man, we were so wrong about them MVP conversation. They're doing their thing. If somebody's losing right now, they're trash. They're garbage. They're not going to be anything. And then we see how the season goes, and all of a sudden, what you said about them turned out to not be true. Let's give people time. It's week 2. This is a rookie quarterback, essentially. Week 2. Rookie quarterback situation here, bro. Week 2 with a rookie quarterback. Let's see how things are going to progress as the season goes on. Ain't no defense getting played on Monday Night Football next week. Oh, yeah, Lions going to put up points, man. Lions going to put up points. Yeah, the Vikings are just done. They don't have anything left. They're going to lose this game. Falcons are going to get the win. Ben Johnson struggling with the Bears, but like you said, only 2 games. Hopefully, he adjusts to being the head coach. It's going to take some time. Everything's not going to be easy. I've been saying this since he was in Michigan. That's fine for you to have that assessment. College, I mean, he had some success in college, and you felt he was still trash. You already have your assessment on him based off of whatever you saw from him in college. You already had an assessment on them. You're one of those individuals that's not going to change your mind. I don't know if J.J. McCarthy is going to work out in the NFL, but I'm not going to write him off immediately. That's just not what I'm going to do. I'm going to give him the opportunity to showcase what he can do. And if he doesn't work out, he doesn't work out. But you don't write off a quarterback based off of 2 NFL games just because you had your own personal but your own personal feelings towards that quarterback in college. He still had success in college. He got drafted by this Vikings team. He was a top draft pick. Let's see what he can do. It's essentially his rookie year. But again, I get it. Everyone's going to have their own personal takes on certain guys, call them trash and not believe in them. And even if they're looking good or they're struggling in the league, you're going to have your own personal opinions about them. It's fine. It's fine. Like I said, that's cool. You are entitled to your opinion. I'm not going to write off a rookie quarterback who's playing 2 games in the league. You could say whatever you want to say. Josh Allen didn't do much of anything in college. He did not look great in college. He had his moments, but his biggest thing in college was he couldn't throw the deep ball to save his life. He actually had a worse completion percentage in college than Lamar Jackson did. No one thought Lamar would work out. People said Josh Allen wasn't going to work out. He was just a big athletic guy that can't throw the ball down the field. It took 3 years for Josh Allen to become what he would become, but he eventually became it. I am always willing to give guys time. Caleb Williams is in year 2. You have to give quarterbacks time to develop. What is with you guys in this mindset that quarterbacks are just going to come in the league and dominate? That doesn't happen to everybody. That doesn't happen to everybody, man. That does not happen to everybody. You can have questions about college quarterbacks. I'm not saying you don't have the right to have questions about them. I'm sure you had your questions about Caleb Williams. I'm sure you had your questions about J.J. McCarthy. Everybody had questions for them. No one's saying they're perfect. But these are guys that are coming into the league that are going to require time. Not everybody's going to be NFL ready. It's going to take time. If the time is put in and they don't work out, they don't work out. If the time is put in and they do work out, great. But that's just the assessment of quarterbacks. You can have your assessment all you want about what they are in college. There's guys people thought was going to fail in college that came into the league and dominated. There were guys people expected that were killing it in college that they expected to come in the league, and those guys turned into bust. You never know how it's going to go. But if you're willing to give these guys the opportunity to showcase what they can do, develop under a system, give them the support they need, and let them grow and develop, you give them that chance, and if it doesn't work out, you move on. No problem. For me, I'm not going to I always give a quarterback 3 to 5 years to show me something. And if I'm not seeing anything there, then I start to have issues with it. That's why I'm looking at a guy like Bryce Young and I'm starting to ask these questions. I need you. You get time. You got to get some time. We start to ask those questions. But I'm not going to write off J.J. McCarthy based off of 2 games in what essentially is his rookie year. That is way too early. You cannot, teams do not assess the quarterback position like that. You cannot write off a rookie quarterback based off of 2 NFL games. You can't do that. If we were going to do that, Josh Allen would not be with the Buffalo Bills right now. He wouldn't. He didn't come in the league killing it. From a statistical standpoint, based off of what Lamar did his first 2 games, he wouldn't be the quarterback of the Ravens. They would have never moved off of Flacco. Sometimes it takes time for guys to develop. Let's give these guys the opportunity to develop. If they don't work out, then you move on. That's just how it works. But I'm not going to immediately say this guy's not going to work out or he's trash from day one without giving him the chance to develop and grow under the system they're trying to run. It takes 3 to 5 years for a quarterback to fully develop into what he's going to become. If it ends up becoming nothing, you move off of him. Simple as that. 2nd down and 9 here for the Falcons. They're in field goal range. In fact, they're in the red zone here. So at this point, you're just trying to hold on. There's 4 minutes left, and the Vikings are done. The Vikings are done at this point, man. This is going to be a Falcons win here. 2nd timeout called for the Vikings. There's not much left here. They're just using their timeout to try to stop the clock. But the Falcons look like they're going to win this game. I had questions about Bryce Young because he's shorter than Kyler Murray. I mean, his height is something people will question. They questioned it with Kyler Murray, so it is something that people will question because they're like, will he be able to see over his offensive lineman? So that is a question people have had. I didn't know that. I didn't even know who Josh Allen was when he was in Wyoming. Then again, I didn't know about Lamar. You didn't know about Lamar either in Louisville? Yeah, because, I mean, Wyoming is not a known school, and Louisville is not a huge major school. But Baker went to a major school. 3rd down and 7 here. You're trying to make a stop. Saints will be the team to have back-to-back winless seasons. I don't know if that would happen, but I don't even know if we're ever going to see something like that. You think the Vikings could be the first team to go finish 0-17? Well, that's impossible. The Vikings won in week 1. Oh, you meant the Saints. Do I think the Saints could be the first team to finish 0-17? I don't know. It depends on their schedule. I was about to say, you said Vikings. I'm like, the Vikings are 1-0 right now. They're about to lose, but still, they're 1-0. If I was to look at it, I think it's possible with the Saints. It's possible. Justin Jefferson, you are a very patient man, dude. You are an incredibly patient man. Bijan Robinson has more total yards on his own than the entire Minnesota offense. That's not a good look. Bijan Robinson killed this defense today. Kellen Moore's struggling, but he's not Hugh Jackson. That's fair. Bro, I'm drunk. 4th and inches here. They're going to go for this because why not? It's 4 minutes left. We're up 2 scores. And they can't stop Bijan. All right, to put the dagger. Oh, they got to jump. They got to jump. Offsides. That's going to be a 1st down, and the Vikings are done. This is a poor game. I needed JJ tonight, and he only had 3 catches. Dude, I mean, McCarthy wasn't really targeting him. I don't know what you can. Justin Jefferson can't force the quarterback to throw him the football. They're gonna get in the end zone at this point. They're just killing the clock. Second and goal, they're just running this clock down. You just run it in. Touchdown. And that's going to put the nail in the coffin. That is the dagger, and Minnesota's done. So the Vikings just let the Falcons score with ease because, it's going to be a two-score game. 22-16, it's a 16-point game. Technically, the game is not over because they could go score a quick touchdown before the 2-minute warning and then try to make a stop. So mathematically, it's still there. Am I watching Monday Night Football tomorrow? I'm gonna be here for Monday Night Football tomorrow, but we're not really streaming that. We have to do our therapy session, week 2 therapy session for the Ravens. So we'll be doing that during the games, but it's only gonna be for like an hour or so. So we aren't really gonna be locked into Monday Night Football in terms of streaming that. But we may watch some of it because I have to do a recap of the Browns Ravens game. I forgot to do this in week 1 in terms of the state of the AFC North, and I have to report on the state of the AFC North because Joe Burrow may be done for the season, so I have to do that tomorrow. And then um I have to do the week 2 therapy session. Hmm. Vikings gonna try to do something. There's 3 minutes left. It don't matter. All right, let's wrap this up. 3:22 left. I mean, unless you get a one-play touchdown, there's no chance. You get a one-play touchdown, the two-point conversion. There's nothing to say here. Look at this. The second half possessions: punt, punt, fumble, punt. Just been 3-and-out, 7 plays in the punt. You fumble the ball, and then another 3-and-out. This Vikings offense is looking so bad, and you should not be looking bad with these weapons. First of all, you need Jordan Addison back. He's suspended for now, so you got to get Jordan Addison back to really help. You got a young kid here at quarterback. You're going to need to have to help him because it's not going to be easy. It is not going to be easy. The offensive line has to do a better job of protecting him, and he's got to do a better job of delivering the ball to these receivers, man. You got way too much talent on the Vikings to just be wasting it. Hopefully things will improve once they get Addison back, but man, it's really tough. It's really tough. First down and 10 here for the Vikings with 3:22 left. You need a quick score touchdown. They're not going to get that. Here we go. McCarthy just has to get rid of it because there's pressure in his face. He got it to TJ Hawkinson. He picks up the first down here. This is nasty, man. This is nasty. This is nasty. First and 10 here, 3:09 left. Just trying to get something going. McCarthy steps up, fires downfield. He's got Jefferson, and they're moving the chains, but they got to go quick. His weapons aren't the problem. Oh, no, Kent, I wasn't saying his weapons are the problem. I'm saying that he has to play better because he has these weapons. Now, again, he's missing Jordan Addison, which he needs to get back because he's going to need that help. And these guys obviously got to make plays too, but he has to deliver the ball to them. And that's a pick. That's game. Unless this flag's on the defense, that's game. That's game. But yeah, I'm not saying that his weapons are the problem. I'm saying that, he has to play better, obviously. But he does need all of his weapons here because this is a young quarterback. And if they have any shot of doing anything with him this year, they're going to need the weapons to be great and be great on the field. They're going to have to rally behind this guy because if he loses confidence, they got no shot to do anything this year. You also needs the offensive line to do a bit of a better job in protecting him. But most of this has to deal with JJ McCarthy just playing better. He played absolutely garbage today. He was trash today. He can't play like this. 3 turnovers and 6 points of offense. He plays like that, he's going to find himself on the bench in a few years. Maybe even quicker than that. He can't play like that. So I'm not saying his weapons are the problem. I'm just saying he has to play better, and the weapons do have to help him. Because he's got way too much weapons to not look he's got way too much weapons to look this bad. You got freaking Justin Jefferson, you got TJ Hawkinson. Jordan Addison's not here right now, but we know what you're normally getting with Jordan Addison. You got way too much talent on this offense to look this bad. Yeah, Jefferson wants Sam Darnold back. I think you would want anything back right now because this is ridiculous. This is just ridiculous at this point. Well, yeah, I saw it earlier. I talked about it in the first half when it happened. Both Falcon rookie defenders had picks tonight. Oh, no, I thought you were talking about the. So, okay, actually, Sam, you just added something great because they had their first round their first round defenders, both of them got a sack in the first half against JJ McCarthy. And now both of their rookie defenders got picks. So that makes things even better. So the Ravens going to win the AFC North again, or is it too early to speak? It's too early to speak. We expect them to win the AFC North, but it's too early to speak. If Burrow's done for the year, that's going to most likely knock the Bengals out. The Steelers are still going to be a problem, and we don't know how we're going to match up with them. So again, the Ravens are expected to win the AFC North. They're probably going to win the AFC North, but it's too early to call because we don't know how this team's going to handle this early 6-game stretch. We just have to see how things are going to progress. But 9 times out of 10, the Ravens are going to win the AFC North. Oh yeah, Pearson Walker. Atlanta's defense definitely improved. Absolutely. Both of them got a sack today. So both of those guys got a sack, and now both of their defenders in the secondary got picks. That's great. But you know, guys, I'm going to probably end it off here. I think this is the perfect time. I think it's the perfect time to end this off here. I don't think we need to watch the rest of this. It's just going to run the clock down. I want to thank you guys for tuning into the live stream here. The Atlanta Falcons stomped the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday Night Football. The Vikings fall to 1-1. The Falcons improve to 1-1. They needed that after that tough, heartbreaking loss against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But hey, you're back to 500. That's a good look. The Vikings, you're going to go to 1-1 here, so it's not a great look. But yeah, you're going to have to work with your rookie quarterback, man. This is going to be a lot. And yeah, he is a rookie quarterback. Even though he was drafted last year, this is technically his rookie season. So, yeah. Browns defense will at least be good plus Dylan Shadoi. It will, but they're not going to win the division. The Browns are 0-2 in the season and 0-2 in the division. They're cooked already. They're not winning the division. I still remember what you said. When we said if for some godforsaken reason the Giants pull off the upset and the Ravens lose to the Chiefs, season done. Season done for who? Season done for who? If the Giants pull off the upset this year, and if the Giants beat the Chiefs next week, and then the Chiefs beat the Ravens, season's done for who? Who did I say the season was done for? I mean, there'll be a thorn in the side. Well, I mean, we don't face off against them till later on, and we already handled them here, so there'll be an annoyance down the stretch. But for us right now, we've already handled business. We ain't got to deal with them till later on. But I'm going to head on out, guys. 2 minutes left. It's just running the clock out. Minnesota doesn't have any timeouts left. So it's just to run the clock, and that's it. Yeah, Falcons are going to go to 1-1. Vikings are going to drop to 1-1, and that's just going to be it. We have 2 games on Monday Night Football, so it should be good tomorrow. But tomorrow's going to be me focusing on State of the AFC North address, recapping the Ravens-Browns game, and the live stream that I'll probably do tomorrow will be Ravens Therapy Week 2 to see where everybody's at. Because obviously, despite the win, there are things that were concerning, and there's always something to look at and address. And yeah, I know a lot of people want to talk about a certain individual. Please don't bring him up here. We'll talk about him tomorrow. I'm going to head out because it is 11 and I got to go check on my laundry. I'm a head on out. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. The Falcons, they hadn't picked up the first down here, but it really don't matter at this point. Run the clock. You can go for the 4th down. Either way, it don't matter. I want to thank you guys for tuning into this stream. I kind of just wanted to see how both these quarterbacks were going to play. Not too much for Michael Penix, but he wasn't horrible like JJ McCarthy. Not a good day for them. Not a good day at all. They got a lot of work to do. Justin Jefferson is definitely frustrated, and yeah, they got work to do, man. And JJ McCarthy, man, you can't play like this, dude. You played like complete garbage. You got to be better. You've got to be better. But with that being said, guys, good night. Wish you all the best, and I'll see you tomorrow. Be sure to stay safe, and peace out.